Hi, welcome back to 16 Tank Workshop. In the last video I was working on the tracks, weathering, painting and fitting. In this video I'll be moving on to the upper hull. Before I start painting the upper hull, there's a few more details to add. I had various components just loosely fitted, other parts were unfinished, such as the hatches for the driver and the radio operator, so I'm going to do a bit of work on those. But one of the biggest tasks will be fitting the hull shirtsen. These are the additional armour hanging on the side. A number of years ago, before I even received my Armatech Panzer IV, a good friend on the forum, who also has a Panzer IV, did up these drawings in 1/6 scale. These will be a big help in making the parts. Here's the shirtsen racks. I've also made some additions to the drawings myself. These will be the brackets in 1/6 scale. There's quite a few brackets. These are the brackets that actually fit to the side of the hull, and these small brackets here fit to the mudguards, and they combine to hold the shirtsen plates in place. But the great thing about these drawings, this is not the only drawing, it's a full collection of drawings. So here's the shirtsen, which can be superimposed over the other drawing. And now I can see how the shirtsen will fit on and the position. But also, when my friend was making these parts, he was also kind enough to actually send me the shirtsen parts. So all cut and ready to fit. So these will be the shirts, and I'll have to fit brackets onto the back so that they'll hang on the hangers. But this is how it'll look. So I've been working on the Panzer IV now for a few days, working on the shirtsen mounts, taking measurements, trying to make sense, do up some drawings. I've been scaling up a lot of the parts from Hilary Doyle's great drawings. The drawings in this are all in scale. So the drawings for the shirtsen mounts were in 1/10 and 1/20 scale. It's been easy enough to scale those up to 1/6 scale. I usually start out by just scaling up on the photocopier. Scaling up to 1/10 drawings, I just multiply by 1.666 on the copier and print off some images. Here, for instance, are the drawings in the book of the hull mounts for the shirtsen bracket, all in 1/10 scale. So I've blown these up to 1/6 scale. So let's have a look at the completed brackets. And here we have a set of brackets fitted. The shirtsen rail itself, I would have preferred to use brass, but I didn't have any brass angle. I did have some aluminium angle and also sheets of fairly thin aluminium. So I cut the angle into the proper shape and size, and then I made these triangular sections. The triangular sections would have been welded on. Here you can see the brackets fitted. The brackets are made of steel bar, about 1mm thick, and any additional parts or reinforcements are soldered on. At least I can solder steel. I thought these would be the weak part of the assembly, but they're actually extremely strong, and I can pull the tank around by them. So I'm pretty happy that they will support the shirtsen plates without any problem. The brackets are complicated in that there's a few different types of brackets. The rear bracket is the same on both sides. The front bracket is the same both sides, except because of the angle, they're actually slightly bent to accommodate the slope. The mid brackets are different. There's two different brackets on the right side, and then I'll show you the brackets on the left side later. It's quite a bit of measuring and work to try and get everything lined up so that the bar can fit correctly and evenly. I've tapped the hole sections to take these 8BA screws, so the brackets are screwed into the hole really secure, and then the brackets themselves attached to the bar. The brackets are attached to the bar with these 10BA screws, so fairly secure. These brackets along the mudguard, these are the same steel as the brackets I've used above, but I've also soldered in this extra support as on the originals, and these are mounted with, again, 10BA screws. I wasn't sure how this bracket was supposed to be secured to this section. It didn't seem to make any sense. Here's the bracket for the rear left and right. I just couldn't see where this would fit because it's right above where the vents are, and I couldn't see where it was bolted on. So having made the bracket, it didn't seem to meet up. There didn't seem to be anywhere to fit it. So a little bit of research needed. But looking at some drawings, I've worked it out. It took a while to work out, but I found this photograph, and if you can see closely here, just on this section, there is a small lug which is tapped for a bolt attached to the vent, and that's where the bracket would bolt in. So now the brackets are complete. I must say the drawings from Hilary Doyle's book were perfect. I followed them to scale, made them, and can say that the Armatec Panzer IV must be extremely accurate in construction because the parts which I scaled from Hilary Doyle's book fitted without any issue. So a lot of credit to the engineers at Armatec. I'm really happy I made these brackets. I was thinking of leaving them off, but they do add quite a bit to the detail of the model. And here's the view of the left hand side. Tools are still fairly loosely fitted. I was just making this catch to hold the block in place. So you can see the front bracket and rear bracket are same as on the other side, but we have different brackets here in the center section to accommodate the various tools. Either side of the spare wheel box we have one of these brackets, and these are all soldered together. They're very sturdy, no problem shaking the vehicle around by them, no movement. And here we have a view of the left side now. So that's most of that detailing ready to paint. And here's the rear view from the left hand side. Again, you can see where the rear bracket doesn't actually meet, so I need to make the small bracket that mounts onto the air vent here. The Scherzen will have hangers fitted to the inside, and they'll hang over in these sections. Again, big thank you, Steve, for making these up for me along with the drawings. Just a little bit of work to do on them. In many of the photographs of the Panzer IV, the Scherzen were also Zimmerit coating. So just as a bit of practice for Zimmerit coating, I think I'll put Zimmerit on the Scherzen as well, but with plenty of battle damage. Here you can see the hatches are removed. I put in these small stops here. I need to make some rubber caps for the top. These will be supports for when the hatches are in the open position. I'll show you the work now that I've done on the hatches. Here you can see the hatches in place. Worth noting, the hatches are actually staggered. They're not evenly positioned. The driver's hatch is forward of the radio operator's hatch. I don't know why. Probably either to give the radio operator more space or to give the driver close proximity to controls. I haven't put the hinges in yet, but I have put some interior detail. I don't know if the Panzer IV hatches had head cushions or not. I'm not too sure, but I've made up these interior locks. They actually function to some degree. They're not exactly right, but they are functional. So it adds a little bit of interest when the hatches are open. These need to be painted up in etch primer and base coat, but I've ran out of both paints. So I'll etch prime them, fit them. When I start painting, I'll base coat them. And they open out and they sit onto these bump stops. Both hatches have these locking mechanisms fitted. You can see here with the spare tracks removed, you can see the Zimmerit has plenty of battle damage which can be painted in for a bit of added interest. These hatches open up. You can see the motor mounts and the belts. So access but no interference from the motor mounts. They fit really well. This section I've designed so it just lifts out. Give more access to switches, but there will be track fitted over here, so it wouldn't be easy access. And again, the other hatch. I need to fit an MG here onto the ball mount, and once it's painted I'll fit clear polycarbonate into the viewport. Some crew members have already taken ownership of the vehicle. Not too sure yet about what unit the tank will be from. The convoy light is fitted, but no bulbs or anything fitted at this stage. That's something we'll have to do in another video. So I'm really looking forward to getting down to painting this hull. Armatech have just announced that they're going to be re-releasing the Panzer IV. It's a really good decision. It's a beautiful model to work on. And I made quite a few parts for it in the workshop. So thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, keep watching, there's more to come. In the next section I'll be showing you the completed shirts and armour plates, and then I'll fit them to the vehicle. If you're enjoying the video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It's very important that the channel gets some more subscriptions. It's moving upwards but very slowly, so really need your support. Also try help me beat the YouTube algorithm by watching my other videos. The kit doesn't actually come with shirts, so it would be nice if they're making one of the later models if they put some of the components in the kit, but then I guess they might have to charge extra. To make the Scherzen hangers, I've marked out where the location of the Scherzen hangers should be. Here I have my rusty little pile of parts. I've made these brackets from a kit Tiger mudguard. Just a piece of rusty old metal I found in my bits box. I don't use the kit parts for the Tigers, I make my own mudguards. But I save old metal, so these have been useful. I've cut them and they'll fit roughly in these positions. There will be a third one somewhere down here, but I have to work that out once they're on. So I'll be soldering these into place. You can see these brackets are really dirty and rusty. So before I do anything, I'm going to have to soak these in Evapo-Rust. So here we have the Scherzen just about complete. The brackets are all soldered on. The Scherzen are made of steel. And each one is numbered. These are the left side and the right side. Here you can see the front sections. So these should fit nicely onto the hangers. They're quite heavy, but the hangers are strong enough to hold them. There remains one more piece, this front piece. I think this was attached by various brackets to the mudguard and to the number 1 Scherzen plate. So now I'll make this one. I've drawn out the plan sketch of this part here. So I'll just cut it out now. Now you can see I've completed this piece of Scherzen. This is the front section. This small piece is held on with 2 small brackets. There is another bracket here which would attach to the side fenders on a bracket, but I'm not going to make the bracket. It would make removing the Scherzen a bit more difficult for maintenance, especially in an emergency. So it's strong enough that it'll fit and look the part. I've put the dummy bolts in, but I'm not going to fit the bracket to attach it to the fender. Here you can see I've made the right side as well. So next we'll do a trial fitting and see how they go on. On the left side, so here we have one side fitted. So here you can see how it's fitted. We have the triangular sections and then the extra brackets on the side track guard. You can see the Scherzen are at an angle to the hole, sloping inwards. You can see here the gap. In reality, they would fit wood planks along these brackets and bolt them in place. This would suppress the dust and dirt. I don't intend to build that part. It would be too difficult to remove it if I need it. This is where the additional bracket would fit, and these bolts would attach to the bracket. I may fit a bracket, but just a dummy bracket. Now let's fit the Scherzen on the right hand side. So there's 3 brackets each side holding it on. So there we have the right hand side. And here we have view from the front. And here from above. So in the next video I hope to start painting the upper hull. There'll be quite a bit involved, but I'll be focusing on painting the hull. Painting the accessories, I'm going to paint them individually off the vehicle. So that'll probably be another video. Also, I like gadgets, so I've ordered another few items. I'll show you those on the painting video as well. It's some new airbrushes. I'm not an expert airbrusher, but I do like gadgets. So I'll show you those and see how we get on with them. So far I've been using the Pache airbrushes. They're quite good, probably a middle of the road airbrush, but I want to try something different. I've ordered a couple of the harder and Steenbeck airbrushes to try out. So I'll show you those in the next video. Again, thanks everybody for watching. Remember to hit that subscribe button, the like button, add comments. I try to reply to all comments, and also share the channel. I'll put up a couple of videos at the end here and here. But now, just to finish up, I have a few photos of real Panzer IVs that I came across during my travels. You can watch videos on both of the vehicles, the vehicle at the Calamegdon and Bovington, on my YouTube channel. Have a look at my other videos. So see you again soon, and hopefully next time we'll get painting.